Hey guys, Gutsy here, bringing you another video. This one is going to be on how to play Broodmother, specifically mid Broodmother. You can apply the same principles to offlane Broodmother, but since the Broodmother mechanical read work, offlane is no longer really a viable lane for this hero. So I'm going to show two different perspectives of Broodmother. One is going to be more of an easy Broodmother game, and the other one is going to be a hard one. And they're all... right here you can see the starting build. I do 5 mangoes and a quelling blade, hoping to get a tango and ward, but the regen itself should be pretty decent. You could pool yourself, should be not too bad to lane with level 1. Okay, so your mid lane as Broodmother. What do you do in mid lane? Well, the first thing is you need to know how spin web works. So every level of spin web, you get 2 extra webs. This is important, because until you reach level 4, you're not getting kills on any heroes. The first web you're going to place is going to be right where I'm highlighting this creep. The second web you're going to place is going to be right where I'm highlighting this creep. This covers the distance between the 2 towers so you could lane. Once you hit level 4, you can start killing people, depending on the difficulty level of a hero. A hero like AA is easy. You'll have no problems killing AA at level 4. Sniper is medium difficulty because of shrapnel. It's hard to close distance. He kills spiderlings. Hard difficulty is Broodmother. Sorry, Bristleback. You shouldn't even be picking Broodmother if you're fighting a Bristleback in lane. Broodmother is a niche pick. You only pick Brood if you're strong in a 1v1 scenario. Because Brood has lots of kill potential pre-level 6. When you hit level 4, you could use a web to farm creeps. As you can see, I'm highlighting these here. That's usually where you want to place the other web. Or you could do it a little more defensively and place it in between your tower here and this creep camp so that you could walk over and farm this creep camp. This is important because if the lane's pushed and you don't feel safe up there, you have to get spiderlings somehow, so you'll get them through these 2 creep camps. Spawn spiderlings is also important because you're going to be last hitting with that, with your mangoes, until you get your soul ring. That's the next item you want, and then you will be using soul ring to last hit. You also want to use Spawn Spiderling to get the finishing blow on heroes or to burst damage them when you go for ganks and kill them. And the other web, when you hit level 4, because I've only mentioned the farming web, will be used to gank, aka tower dive. So when he starts running behind the tower and you're ganking him, or he starts juking in the trees. We're going to see an example of this here. I actually don't get any kills on this dude. But what you're going to see here is just the simple laning phase. So I'm keeping my distance. He's using it defensively so that he can farm creeps. I try to go in, but see, I can't really do too much, or he's going to penalize me. And this is basically what a laning phase looks like. I'm getting last hits, I'm waiting for my soul ring, and that's it. Okay, so here is going to be an example of me getting a kill on Sniper. As you can see here, I'm going on Sniper. I'm getting him pretty low. AA's here to defend him. Rona's trying to help me out, but there's a lot of spells being used on me. Now this is important. I'm going to slow it down. So this is the tower dive aspect. I use Spawn Spiderlings to get the last hit, but I'm now in a very bad scenario because I got these 2 heroes here, and my webs are already being casted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get back. I use my Spawn Spiderlings kind of as cover against the towers. See how the tower's going for the Spawn Spiderlings? That's what you want to do. Spawn Spiderlings need to always be first. That way you're not taking tower damage. So I got the kill on Sniper by last hitting. I almost kill AA. My items, as you can see here, Soul Ring's your priority. You could go Medallion if you're really kill oriented. If you're not, let's say you just can't get kills because there's so many enemies babysitting the mid laner, then you could go for a Midas and take this to a farm late. And usually you don't need boots on this hero. So you can see with my levels, I've maxed Spawn Spiderling and Spin Web. Spin Web has highest priority in terms of movement. Spawn Spiderling has highest priority in terms of spiders and burst damage on getting gank kill. Now here is a scenario where you've finished and you've killed the tower. So usually in this case, you have a bunch of kills and you get the tower. In this case, I don't really have the kills because he's getting babysit a lot mid, as you can see here. There's a lot of people in the area constantly keeping him safe. When you kill the mid tower, you need to graduate your mid web placements more offensively. Even in a case where he's being babysat and a lot of people are in lane with him, you still want to be offensive because it buys space for your other 2 lanes so that they could excel. I have a web here for that camp. I could place one a little more up here for this camp. You could have a web here for this camp. And actually, Ancients are very possible to farm as Broodmother, so you could place a web here. The same thing goes for if you're on the Dire. I still have some webs back here, but put webs up here, up here. You'll have this web up here, maybe one going up here, and you'll still have the ones in mid lane so that you could push the tier 2. As you can see here, I could still push the tier 2. So that's what your web placement's going to want to look like. It's basically going to live on their side of the map for as long as possible. If you have to deal with a bunch of heroes and you're feeling very unsafe, buy some wards. You can place some wards like right up here on the cliff. This one's a little more predictable on this cliff up here. You could place one over here just so that you could see the movements of the enemies, because that's very important. If you're watching Brood players like Ice, he'll use his Broodlings. He'll just individually click a Broodling and send them places. So I find Pudge, I go on Pudge, but he uses ult, so my damage is basically all Spiderlings. They're dying from the shrapnel, but I still get the Pudge kill. I go right on Sniper. I've been Viper ulted, but Sniper's still going to die. Now my teammates show up, so I'm going to go on Viper here. The AA Blast is what kills me, but Viper still dies. This is a 3 kill net worth just for one hero, okay? The enemies have to expend so many heroes to deal with me that it's just not game winning for them in terms of their other lanes. Okay, when you kill the tier 2, at this phase of the game, it gets really tricky because it's very difficult to push high ground. A lot of people think it's very possible, but as you can see here, they are parked. There are 4 heroes here high ground. So Necro has Radiance. It's very difficult to push because my Spiderlings just die too quickly. So at this phase of the game, this is when you really need to coordinate your team play with your teammates. I'm just going to chip the tower whenever I see heroes are in other spots of the game. Still resort to the jungle and stuff, and that's okay because you farm very fast. As you can see here, my teammates are 4-man up top and I'm mid. This is usually the ideal scenario. They either have to split up, which puts them at a disadvantage because Brood could take on multiple heroes by herself, or they have to fully commit and that leaves the lane open so you could rat and kill them. No, I can't really go up there. I just go back and farm a bit. I'll speed it up. Just farm the lane. Now the ganks and the team fight's happening, as you can see here. We've made an initiation. We go in. We get the tower. 2 buybacks happen. Everybody starts running for the hills. So as you can see here, the team's fighting. I'm trying to rat, but they've used Glyph. But rat is my priority unless if I see I could win a fight. So now I'm going in to join the fight, as you can see, with them. Pudge has locked me down, which is kind of bad for me, but I have no problem taking him down also. They're taking down heroes in the back. Pudge dies. This is really bad for them. So this is when they start losing a bunch of buildings. As you can see here, that building goes, this building goes. They've pretty much lost their racks. And I'm still fighting heroes, as you can see, in mid. And I'm the only one left here, so he's dead. I try to go for AA. Notice I've advanced my webs fully into their base now, since I've committed the kills. And then I just go for bottom, and I leave because I realize Sniper's up. Okay, now this is a separate game. So this is the immortal gameplay of a Broodmother, and it's also hard difficulty because he had the lane against a Bristleback mid. Brood do instead, Brood decides to farm jungle all game. Notice his web placements. Brood is a flash farmer. That's what makes it very cool compared to Batrider. Batrider may have lots of early game kills like a Brood, but Batrider's farming, thanks to new patches, has been nerfed quite a bit. It's slower, so this is when Brood is still very nice. And one trick that I'm going to show you here is he farms between the tower, but he knows he's never going to kill Bristles. So as you can see here, Bristle's just going to stay in lane, and Brood's just going to go ahead, right under the tower even. He's super far back. Bristle's got to walk a very long way just to deal with him, and he's not going to do that because Brood moves too fast. So Brood will farm towers, Brood will go to creep waves, and then back to lane if necessary, but usually he could just farm the creep waves back here while Bristle's up there. It's kind of like when Axe creep cuts a lane. That's what you'd be doing with Brood. Now this right here is going to be an example of why you need to be aggressive on Brood. Towers and stuff shouldn't matter. So he goes on the Bristle here, which we just missed, with Silver Edge, which makes him basically a creep. But he doesn't stop there. He starts going on to the Rubik, because he's got a web up there. He's just starting to do damage to the tier 3s. He realizes he can't go for the Rubik, because the Rubik's too far. But if they go too far out of bounds, then he will go for them. As you can see here, Rubik stepped a little too far out of bounds. He goes right back on him. He was going to go back and farm the jungle because he realizes he can't kill the tower. But now he's going on Earth Spirit, who stepped a little too far, and he stopped his roll. So he's dead also. Bristleback comes, he pops the Silver Edge, and Bristle's now creep, and he kills him also. And then Drow also, who's been feeding all game, is fodder too. As you can see, he just gets an ultra kill, forces out a glyph, and, you know, this is a very bad scenario if you're the enemies. 20 minutes into the game, Brood's gonna go in, activates the Silver Edge, goes for Bristle, who's a creep. Notice how all the enemies are here. So he's still going because he has BKB now. This allows you to team fight solo. I usually go BKB as soon as possible if I realize I have to be doing a lot of team fight. So he kills 2 heroes while 5 heroes are all around. But he's extremely fed, so it makes sense. And now his team's joining him naturally because they realize he's doing a lot. And he can advance forward and start pushing towers. In this specific game, Brood's overrun them mid, and his team came and helped him out, so he doesn't have to worry about killing the other axe. He just goes right down mid. To clarify the leveling up, it'll kind of look like this. And then your ultimate, and then your bite and ultimate kind of thing. Your talents, you want more damage so you could burst, cooldown so you could constantly have spiderlings. I prefer attack speed because eventually at level 20 your spiderlings aren't going to be living. And then insatiable hunger, damage, and lifesteal is best because then you just hit like a truck. Your item build, Soul Ring's going to be next. You'll then follow up the Soul Ring usually with a medallion to continue with kills, and then a diffusal. This is the kill build. This is what it looks like. If you're doing a farm build though, let's say you're fighting a Bristleback, which you shouldn't. If that's the case, you'll want to go Midas just so you could farm up a bit better. Your next item, otherwise, either way, farm or gank related is BKB. That just means that the enemies can't really control you, and you can just pop BKB and then do your insatiable hunger and start fighting people in the webs. A Deso is sometimes nice. This used to be very popular. It's fallen off now. But if you're really going for a rat approach, Deso is very nice. And a personal favorite, I pretty much say this in all my guides, Refresh Orb. I think Refresher's great, especially on Broodmother. 2 insatiable hunkers and 2 BKBs. You pretty much can 1v5 in almost all scenarios if you're able to get this combination. So, yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching.